There's a shortage of nesting places for all bees. So they're desperate for somewhere to nest. So literally, I made a bee hotel for bees on my allotment, and within 5 days, the bees had moved in. And it's just bamboo canes in a box, facing southeast. Easy. So there are 3 types of bee, roughly. You've got the honeybee. There's 1 species of honeybee. Then you've got 25 species of bumblebee, which are the large, furry ones. And then you've got about 230 species of solitary bee. And solitary bees, unlike bumblebees and honeybees, which nest in large colonies, solitary bees just make nests in individual cells. And there appear to be a lot of bees, and they nest in aggregations sometimes, but not necessarily. They don't form colonies like the honeybees and the bumblebees do. And it's very easy to make a bee hotel for solitary bees. Solitary bees, roughly 2 types of solitary bee. You've got the ones that nest in the ground. They nest in sandy soil or lawns, and you've got the ones that nest in cavities. And the cavities include holes made in dead wood by beetles, spent plant stems, and other holes in mortar and things like that. And in gardens, we don't tend to have those sorts of habitats anymore. We get rid of our dead wood, we cut down our spent plant stems. So these habitats that the cavity nesting solitary bees nest in don't exist naturally in our gardens very often. So they're desperate for somewhere to nest. The best thing you can do for bees is knock up a box like Mark's done here, get some bamboo canes, and just do that until it's full. Solitary bee will lay an egg in a cell, leave it with a parcel of pollen and nectar, seal it with mud or a leaf, depending on which species she is. So mason bees use mud, and leafcutter bees use leaves. And so she'll go along all the way. So in this length of bamboo, I don't know, you might have 10 eggs, 10 bees, 10 parcels of pollen and nectar. It doesn't matter if the bamboo is pithy, because they literally chew. They've got really strong mandibles. They chew their own holes in. And different species are different sizes. So here you've got, this hole's a greater diameter than this one. So the more species you'll attract. So ideally, the books say between 2mm and 10mm in diameter, and you've got some that are quite open here and some that are pithy. So give the bees a choice of where they can nest.
You don't have to use bamboo. You can use
any hollow stem.
Yeah.
So this is Jerusalem artichoke. I also use teasel stems, which are have quite a thick diameter. Sunflower stems. Anything. As long as it's hollow or it's got the potential to be hollow, then it's fantastic.
The nice thing about having one of these on your balcony or something is that you might actually, while you're sitting there, you might be able to watch them going in and out there.
It doesn't take up a lot of space at all. And then this one, it should face southeast really, and it needs to be sunny in the morning, so late morning. So where you get sunshine at about 10-11 a.m, that's where your bee hotel needs to be. One thing about bee hotels is that blue tits and I think crows actually. I mean, you don't tend to get crows on a balcony, but certainly in allotments you get crows. And they've learned to use the bee hotel as a snack. So they've learned that bees are in there, and well, it's the grubs they're after. So sometimes, if you have a problem with birds attacking your bee hotel, then you can fix chicken wire over the front, and it doesn't bother the bees, but it just stops the birds from. They'll literally pull the bamboo canes out. Also, you can also just take this in. I mean, you can just pop this in the greenhouse over winter, because insects, they're not troubled by cold winters. It's damp winters that affect them and exposes them to fungal diseases. So what they need is really cool, dry conditions in winter.
But you wouldn't want to bring it inside to the house because that would be too warm.
Don't bring it inside to the house.
somewhere
Inside
to
a
dry.
box or just in an unheated greenhouse is perfect because it's cool and it's dry. Or under this bench. The bees that are born in here are very likely to hatch out, mate, and then the females will come straight back in and lay more eggs. If you sit under the bee hotel in spring or summer, you can hear the bees chewing their way out of their cells. It's wonderful. It's magical.